Okay, so get this. Jane's Addiction, their big reunion tour just went up in smoke.
Yeah.
And we are talking full-on dumpster fire here.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like a little backstage squabble, you know?
Right.
So you wanted the inside scoop on this epic meltdown. Well, we've got articles piled high. Ultimate Classic Rock, Entertainment Weekly, even Fox News weighed in on this one. So buckle up, because today's deep dive is all about figuring out what really went wrong.
You know what's so fascinating about this is the setup.
Yeah.
This wasn't some thrown together like nostalgia tour.
Right.
This was the original lineup back together after over a decade, promising new music the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Fans were so hyped for this.
Absolutely.
And for good reason. This was supposed to be their victory lap, like a testament to their legacy, which is why this whole thing is so baffling.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely made it out of the gate
I know, right?
before it all went sideways in Boston.
And not just sideways.
No.
Full on stage blow up right in the middle of a song.
You're not kidding. We've got eyewitness accounts that describe Perry Farrell like lunging at Dave Navarro. Lunging like a wild animal. According to one article, they did not hold back.
And remember, this isn't just any band. This is Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
They practically invented onstage chaos.
Exactly.
So for them to cross a line that makes even seasoned roadies gasp, that's saying something.
Totally. And the articles are full of these crazy details. Crew tackling Farrell, lights going down, the audience just stunned into silence.
Oh, I bet.
Can you imagine being there? 1 minute you're rocking out, the next it's like pro wrestling broke out on stage.
Wild.
So crazy.
And this is where the story gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because it would have been so easy for them to brush it off.
Right.
As a one-time thing.
Oh, yeah.
Tensions running high, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But then the official statements started dropping.
Whoa, yeah. And those were juicy.
Tell me about it.
First, it was all vague apologies, unforeseen circumstances,
Huh.
the usual PR spin.
Right.
But then, bam, the band releases a statement basically throwing Farrell under the bus. Mental health difficulties, they said.
Wow.
And even worse, they claimed this was a continuing pattern of behavior.
Which is a huge statement to make, right?
Huge.
Because now they're not just addressing one incident.
Right.
They're painting Farrell as well, potentially unstable.
Yeah.
And for the other band members to present such a united front, it makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes.
And then it's like adding fuel to the fire.
Oh, yeah.
We get Navarro's Instagram post.
Oh, really? What do you have to say?
And it's like reading a breakup letter.
Yeah.
He says, perhaps it's simpler to recognize when something is gone and learn from the magical lesson of grief rather than avoid it and remain in a consistent state of dissatisfaction.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. And he doesn't mention Farrell by name, but come on.
Right.
That's some pointed subtext.
Totally. And it gets even juicier.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yeah. Because you can't forget Perry's wife, Eddie Lau Farrell.
Oh, yeah. What's she got to say?
She jumps into the fray with her own Instagram post, and let's just say her version of events is a little different.
Okay, so spill the tea. What's her take on the whole thing?
So according to Eddie, the real problem was technical difficulties.
Okay.
She claims Perry was having major sound issues on stage.
Hmm.
Couldn't hear himself sing, and that's what led to the blow-up.
Huh.
She even goes so far as to say that Eric Avery, the bassist, got physical with Perry first.
What?
Put him in a headlock, punched him the whole 9 yards.
Whoa, hold up. So now we've got accusations flying every which way, sound issues, headlocks, mental health.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like a soap opera. Where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
Well, I think it's important to remember that everyone involved has a stake in how this story is told.
That's true.
And with a band as notoriously volatile as Jane's Addiction, you can bet there's a whole lot of history bubbling beneath the surface.
Right. This isn't their first rodeo.
No.
Not even their second or third when it comes to breakups and drama.
Exactly. This is a band that practically invented the art of implosion. Remember, their very first breakup led to the creation of Lollapalooza.
Wait, seriously? Lollapalooza, this massive music festival, was born out of a Jane's Addiction breakup. Tell me more.
Oh, yeah. 1991, they're at the height of their fame, and bam, they call it quits. And to say goodbye, they decide to launch a farewell tour. But not just any tour, a traveling festival showcasing a diverse lineup of alternative artists. That's how Lollapalooza was born. From the ashes of Jane's Addiction, you could say.
Wow, that's wild. It's almost poetic. This band that thrives on chaos accidentally creates this iconic symbol of alternative music. Talk about a legacy.
I know, right? It just goes to show you can never predict the ripple effects of a band's implosion. And in this case, those ripples turned into a cultural tidal wave.
So given their history, is it fair to say that this latest blow-up could just be another chapter in the Jane's Addiction saga?
It's definitely possible. But I also think there's something about Navarro's statement, the finality of it, that suggests this time might be different. He seems to be saying he's done moving on. And if he goes, that's a core part of their sound gone.
So what you're saying is, while they've bounced back before this time, the stakes feel higher.
Exactly. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, the mental health difficulties mentioned in the band's statement. Whether that's a genuine concern or convenient way to shift blame is up for debate, but it adds another layer of complexity to the situation.
Okay, so we've got a band known for their volatility accusations flying left and right, and the very real possibility that this is the end of an era. So the million-dollar question is, where do they go from here?
Well, if I had to wager a guess, I'd say a full-blown reunion is highly unlikely.
So no more Jane's Addiction tours, no new music. Is this it?
Never say never with this band, but the odds aren't in their favor. However, I do think we'll continue to see the individual members thrive creatively. Navarro's got his own projects, Farrell will always be Farrell, and who knows, maybe we'll get some interesting collaborations down the line.
It's interesting you should say that because, get this, Jane's Addiction was just replaced at an upcoming music festival by a band featuring none other than Rage Against the Machine's guitarist Tom Morello.
Oh, really? And what festival would that be?
The South Star Music Festival in Huntsville, Alabama, they were supposed to be headlining. No, I'm not saying there's a direct connection here, but it makes you wonder, right, like, are they being shunned by the industry? Or is this just a case of one guitar god filling in for another? It's a wild twist.
Yeah, it definitely adds another layer of intrigue to the whole saga.
Yeah.
But speaking of intrigue, let's circle back to Navarro's statement for a second.
Okay.
Where he talks about learning from the magical lesson of grief.
Yeah.
That really struck me.
Me too. What do you make of it?
Well, it makes me think about the human toll of all this.
Mm.
We're talking about a band that's been together on and off for decades.
Right.
They've shared incredible highs and devastating lows. That kind of history creates a bond that's deeper than just the music.
Absolutely. It's like a family with all the love, dysfunction, and baggage that comes with it.
It's exactly. And breakups, especially messy public ones, are rarely clean cut. There's going to be hurt, resentment, maybe even a sense of betrayal. Navarro's words suggest that he's wrestling with those emotions, trying to find meaning in the wreckage.
That's a really insightful way to look at it. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, the headlines, the he said, she said of it all.
Right.
But at the end of the day, these are real people with real feelings.
Yeah, and I think that's something worth remembering, especially for fans who feel let down by this whole thing. It's okay to be disappointed, even angry, but let's not forget the humanity at the heart of it all.
Well said. So as we reach the end of this wild ride, this deep dive into the demise of Jane's Addiction's reunion tour, what's the takeaway? What's the message in the music, so to speak?
I think the message is that even the most iconic bands are made up of flawed, complex human beings. And sometimes those flaws, that complexity, can lead to spectacular explosions. But even in the ashes of those explosions, there's beauty, there's growth, and yes, there's even a strange kind of magic. Just like the music Jane's Addiction created their story is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful art comes from the most unexpected places.
Beautifully put. And on that note, I think we'll leave you to ponder the future of Jane's Addiction, the lessons learned, and the legacy they leave behind. Until next time, keep diving deep, and remember, sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that don't have a neat and tidy ending.